Hello, Richmond High School staff and students, and welcome to our Veterans Day program tribute on this Veterans Day. Today, we honor, remember, and we show our respect and gratitude to our veterans, past and present, who fulfill the patriotic duty to maintain all the freedoms that we enjoy in this great country.
November 11th, 1918, the day that marked the end of the war to end all wars. World War I. While it wouldn't be until 7 months later that the Treaty of Versailles was signed to officially end World War I, it was this day that truly marked the end and was commemorated in 1919 by President Woodrow Wilson when he proclaimed November 11th as Armistice Day to recognize all those who served in the Great War. And in 1921, an unidentified World War I soldier was buried in Arlington National Cemetery. And this site, overlooking the Potomac River in Washington, D.C., became a point of reverence for American veterans. Similar ceremonies occurred in England and France, where unidentified soldiers were buried in places of high honor. These acts of memoriam would serve as the gestures giving universal recognition to all veterans on Armistice Day. In 1938, Congress officially recognized Armistice Day as a legal holiday to ensure proper and widespread observance of the war and to honor veterans who served in it. And in 1954, Congress amended it to become Veterans Day to honor all those who fought in World War II and the Korean War. President Eisenhower issued the first Veterans Day Proclamation in October that year. The Uniform Bill of 1968 moved Veterans Day to Monday, but some states continued to observe it on the 11th. And in 1978, Congress and President Ford passed legislation to move Veterans Day back to November 11th. Now, every November 11th, we take time to celebrate and thank those who served our country for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to sacrifice themselves for the greater good. So why does any of this matter? Well, the best way to decipher this dilemma is to analyze the origin of this day. An unknown soldier being buried in a place of high honor. Although a distinct hierarchy may be present in military systems, there is no hierarchy to the devotion and dedication any one soldier gives. There is no greater sacrifice than dedicating one's life to a cause, and there is respect to be found in this. So many soldiers have given so much towards the promise of peace, and I think it is our moral obligation to help fulfill that promise.
Hello, I'm Mr. Lee, and I joined the Army in 1987. I was a lieutenant. I was a 14 Alpha, which is a tactical control officer, and I served from 1987 to 1992. Most of my time was spent either in El Paso, Texas, at Fort Bliss, or in Hardheim, West Germany. West Germany, that's how old I am. Some of the things I did was I worked on the Hawk missile system, and we were there, you know, setting up the air defense for Europe against the Russians at that time, the Soviet Union. When the wall fell, I did get to see the wall fall. It's a very exciting time over in Europe, the end of communism in Europe, and it was just a wild, crazy time for about 6 months. Other things I did in the military, I went to several schools. The one I really enjoyed was airborne school. I went there right after I went through my officer basic course, and I got my airborne wings, and there's nothing like jumping out of a C-130 at about 1,500 feet. I joined the Army out of a sense of duty. My grandfather had brought me up, and we always talked about his experience in the Army and so forth, so he was a guiding influence in there. Another thing the Army did was give me an opportunity. They paid for my college education. They sent me all over the world. I mean, it was just a great opportunity. Those Army values that we have out there, duty, honor, country, integrity, honesty, all those things have built me into the man I am today. And my time in the Army was very valuable to me as a person, but you know, it was a great experience. And sure, there was some hard times, and I worked a lot and so forth, but there were also great times, great friends. Many of my lasting friendships I have today are from that time period in my life.
Joined the military after I went to college at Ball State to be a musician in the Marines. My job was, I was a Marine musician, so I was in the Quantico Marine Band for a couple of years, and then I was in the Marine Drum and Bugle Corps in Washington, D.C. for the last 2 years. I think it has an impact on you, especially as you get older. I was always patriotic when I was a kid, and I appreciated, you know, what the military did, and it was a neat opportunity after I graduated from college to actually get to perform. So it affected me, I think, in the ways that I just have a greater respect for our country, and I appreciate the opportunities that we have in America, and a lot of that's due to the fact that we have such a good military service, whether it's Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, Air Force. I think the most important thing that it taught me was that you have to be disciplined in all aspects of what you do, you know, and make sure that you're good at time management and be dependable. You know, I think people want to be able to count on you, and I think I learned that, especially in the military, how, you know, each person is very important in whatever they're doing.
My time in the military was instructive. I learned a lot, but some of the lessons I still continue to learn, and I didn't realize them at the time. Yeah, I was in the Army National Guard. I was an infantry soldier. Basically, that just means I was a ground pounder. I carried a rifle. I served for 4 years in the National Guard. I was mobilized after 9/11 to go over to Egypt so that the 101st Airborne could go into Afghanistan. Fortunately, though, I never had to go into Iraq or Afghanistan. We were in Egypt, in the mountains, on a mountaintop, just a small camp of us. Our job was to maintain a radio system for communication across the peninsula, Sinai Peninsula. And there was an electrical storm at night, and it cut out the electricity in the camp. And we looked up and we could see the Milky Way. And I had never seen the Milky Way before. I had never seen that many stars before, and it was probably one of the most magical moments of my life, and I'm always looking for an opportunity to see the stars again like that.
Students and staff, as we close our Veterans Day program today, I would like to thank the RHS band, choir, Devilettes, our radio and TV students, and Jimmy Freiberger, our student council president, for helping to put this program together today for all of you. We will end with taps. And before we do that, I would like to go through briefly the history of taps. There are many legends of the origin of taps, but put simply, after the Civil War, taps became the official bugle call for lights out at the end of each day. Colonel James A. Moss, in his officer's manual first published in 1911, explained that the sounding of taps would be most appropriate at military funerals. Taps is also sounded during each of the 2,500 military wreath ceremonies conducted at the tomb of the unknown soldier every year. As we close our program today, let us always remember our ancestors, the first veterans who left their homes and fought to create this great nation. To those veterans who fought to free slaves, free the concentration camps of World War II, who lent much more than a hand before, during, and after 9/11, and all of the wars that we have had to endure since then. To every man and woman in uniform who has ever responded to an American tragedy, and every veteran that helped write all the pages of history that fall in between. We ask that you please remain silent as we say good night and goodbye to all veterans who have served our country with courage and pride as we play and listen to taps.